All right.
Yeah, I got nothing for you.
As opposed to giving me everything, all 3.5 inches.
You wish it was that long.
That much. Let's see Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to Hard Reset, a Cold North production. I'm your host, Patrick the Law Morris. Joining me this week, we have the tenacious Tim Miller.
Oh, hi.
And the notorious Nathan Crumrine.
Sad boy.
Sad boy Crumrine.
Sad.
All right, coming up this week on Hard Reset, we will be discussing a movie tie-in game that none of us saw coming. Yet another staggering achievement in Dreams. And Nathan, prepare to be your sad boy self. And to the surprise of absolutely nobody, Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4 have both been delayed. And for the topic of the show this week, we will be discussing the best ways to solve the scalping crisis. But before we get to all that, I want to know what you guys have been playing this week. Tim, tell me what you've been playing.
I guess most notably, I started playing Guardians of the Galaxy. And I'm only like 3-4 hours in, but I'm really hooked. I wish I had more time to play.
Okay. It's a good problem. I mean, it's a good problem to have, right?
Yeah, I started playing at like 1 a.m. Got to be about 5 a.m. I needed to go to bed, and I had to force myself to put the controller down because I knew if I kept going, I wouldn't sleep that night.
Wow.
At all.
So that good. Like, you're that invested that quickly.
Yeah, it was really good. I enjoy the character dynamic. The combat's really fun, fluid. The banter between the characters, it's super solid. And I also really like the way that it kind of feels like a choose your own adventure.
Oh, okay.
Because it gives you like different dialogue choices for Star-Lord in reaction to a lot of other character prompts. And depending on how you go about this, you can get different items, get different things. Like, for example, I kept a llama instead of a bunch of space junk. And yeah.
Nice.
It's a lot of fun so far.
So, okay. So what I'm gleaning from this, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's maybe more of a choose your own adventure, like you were saying, like rather than a full blown RPG.
That's kind of what it's feeling like so far.
Okay, so not so much like a morality system like a Paragon Renegade, like Mass Effect, but more just like hey, you're given some choices and they might take you down some different paths, but overall it's more of just like an aspen with a few branches rather than like a giant redwood.
So far, it seems that way. Not having completed the game, I can't say for sure. Like getting a certain item, like that llama, could put me way into left field later on in the game, right, and I wouldn't even know it at this point. So,
okay. And then, so I've heard that the gameplay is kind of like bullet hell-y.
Yep.
Do you like?
I enjoy that style of gameplay.
Okay.
Basically, how combat works: you have your blasters, you can upgrade them with materials you find throughout the game over time. And you've also got the other Guardians that are fighting alongside you. Not all at the same time. Sometimes you have all of them, depending. They each have special abilities that you can call upon to interact with other enemies to, let's say, grapple them or insta-kill them or take out a wide range of them or try to do damage to a wide range. So you got to use them tactically in order to
right,
take out each and every enemy. But I think the biggest thing that helps me a lot and makes it feel like, all right, this actually feels like a fun shooter is it has lock on. Like whenever you're like attacking an enemy, I can just lock onto it. I can strafe around it.
Right.
I don't have to like constantly move my camera to aim.
Okay, so I've heard it described kind of two ways. I've heard and I think that what you like your answer to this question might be the difference maker for me as far as whether or not I buy it. Um I've heard it called Uncharted in Space, which is like I'm into that. But then I've also heard it called just a straight up bullet hell more akin to like Returnal. Which would you say it leans closer to?
Um, in the style of combat, I probably would say it leans a little closer to Returnal, but I
Okay.
also haven't played an Uncharted game in like 8-9 years.
Okay.
So
I mean, I appreciate that answer. It's saving me $60 because I don't like bullet hells. But
I mean, like,
you might come on next week having finished the game and just be raving about it, and you might change my mind.
yeah, we'll see. I mean, most of the combat that I've dealt with so far have been melee typed enemies, so it hasn't felt super bullet hell y. But I can see once I get to enemies that actually, shoot back, that it will probably get to that point.
Okay.
But,
yeah. Interesting. And
Yep.
but like overall, you're really loving it so far.
Absolutely.
Nice.
I do not regret the purchase one bit yet.
Yeah, and I mean you were pretty excited for it, if I remember correctly from previous podcasts. So
yeah, it also helps being very invested in the series as a whole, anyways. So
and one of the biggest criticisms levied against Avengers was that it kind of just looked like a knockoff MCU. Do you feel like that's like this one is also Square Enix? Do you feel like this one is kind of falling into that same trap, or do you feel like it's different enough?
Nope. It definitely feels different enough. It feels like it's in its own little timeline where all these other events have already happened. And they like give you little hints about that kind of thing, like over the first couple hours of the game. I don't want to spoil anything, but let's just say like a few characters they mention, oh yeah, we already killed them. So you already know that, like, all right, they've been established for a little while. They know their own thing, and it doesn't seem to be super connected to Avengers at all.
Oh, okay.
So it just feels like it's its own story with its own little contained, I guess, expanded universe of its own. So
nice. All right, God, there's so many things in this game that are like kind of pulling me. Oh yeah, I do want to play it. Oh, I don't want to play it. So I'm gonna wait on your verdict, and I might wait on a sale. But I mean, it's Square Enix games go on sale pretty quick.
I mean, it also helps that like there's lots of good rock and roll in it. Whenever you're like fighting, it's just great.
Yeah, I've heard the soundtrack is basically just universally
it's awesome.
praised.
Yep.
Nice. Very cool. I'm glad to hear that you're liking it. I'm not going to buy it yet, but I am open to you changing my mind in the future. So, Nathan, what have you been playing this week?
Lots of Stardew.
I swear to God, if you say Morrowind.
No.
Okay.
No, but I have pulled up another classic.
Oh God.
Today I probably clocked like 3 hours just playing Battlefront Classic on PC.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that.
No. It's $10 on Steam. Something I just felt like, man, you know what? I missed that game and just felt like playing it. Saw it's $10. I was like, all right, here's $10 that I was not going to regret for a nostalgia kick, and then I get to have it in my library for whenever. And yeah, it's fun.
Nice.
Just like the simulations.
So, and it's Battlefront 1.
Oh yeah.
Did you have a preference from back then?
No, I do and I don't. Like, I like the very first one because I think the maps were kind of better, in my opinion. Like, they're just were a lot more fun to me. There are a lot of different, like, ways to approach different things. And, like, Bespin Platforms was just such a fun map because you had the choke point in the middle.
Yeah.
That made it just lots of fun. And I don't know, like they just don't make maps like that anymore. I do like Battlefront 2 for like the
heroes.
different kinds. I don't know. I don't care for heroes that much, but I did like it for like the different skills and the upgradable weapons and like how you have a career profile that follows along with you and keeps your stats. But I also really liked Galactic Conquest in that game. The second one, Galactic Conquest, was very
really
very
on
cool.
point.
Yeah, and I just wish that fucking DICE did a better job on the newer ones.
Well,
But
okay. You're segueing perfectly into what I was about to bring up. And I'm going to pose this question to both of you because you guys are both big Star Wars fans. Are they ever going to make Battlefront 3? Like, is Battlefront 3 just a game that cannot possibly get made?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't care. Like, I I would rather them remaster the classic ones and just keep the like mechanics, just remaster it.
Yeah, just put the
Than
new graphics on the old ones.
or even better, this would be cool as hell. Like remaster it and like make it for VR. So it's just like VR Battlefront.
I think you're dreaming.
Just a really I know I am, but I was thinking about it and I was like, you know what? This game is just so much fun. Like it'd be cool to like be in there. And like you can mod Battlefront, but it's as far as I know, it's kind of tough. So it would be I don't know if anyone would ever do it, but that would be super cool.
Yeah.
As terms of Battlefront 3, it's like, man, I just don't care. I like the newer Battlefront 2 was like kind of whatever.
It got good.
It got better.
Over time.
I don't know if it got good, but it got better.
I don't know.
It still has yet to deliver on the things that I loved about Battlefront 1 and 2 Classic.
Like back in the day, yeah. Tim, do you think Battlefront 3 is ever, like, do you think it's just a cursed game?
It doesn't exist. It's like Half-Life 3. You'll never see it.
What's so crazy is, like, it does exist. There is a Battlefront 3 out there that just was never released. And, like, we've seen footage of the game.
There's actually, while I was looking for mods today, because I was trying to, like, raise the bot cap and the reinforcement unit count, like, or whatever, excuse me, and I found out that there are fans that have taken Battlefront 3's assets, and that have been like released or whatever, and put that in Battlefront 2 mods.
Wow.
They've just tried to like make a Battlefront 3 using that with Battlefront 2, which is pretty cool. I kind of want to give it a shot.
Yeah, no, that would be really cool, and you should definitely let us know. You know what? If you do that, and I keep telling Tim this too, if you do that, stream it, please, because I would be super down to watch that. That would be really interesting stuff.
All right.
Okay, well, I personally just have been playing Far Cry 5. I love Far Cry 5. I've talked about it the past couple weeks on the show, so I'm not gonna ramble on and on about it. I just think that, like, I had this moment of, like, I went back to Far Cry 6 for the first time since before it came out, and I was like, oh, this isn't as bad as I was remembering. This is, like, pretty fun. I'm enjoying myself. And then I went to Far Cry 5, and immediately I was like, oh my God, I love this. Like, it just immediately, like, Far Cry 5 demonstrated to me that Far Cry 6 just did not capture the essence, like the feeling of Far Cry nearly as well as, like, any of the previous games did, which was kind of a bummer.
That's a bummer to hear.
I'm curious what specifically you feel like wasn't didn't translate, and why you feel that way.
Yeah, and like I'm honestly curious about that too, because it's like I couldn't really put my, like, if I went and played and like bopped back and forth between 5 and 6 for like a few hours, I'm sure I could identify it, but like there's just something about it that it's like this doesn't feel right. And that was so. I mean, Tim, you said it best yourself. Like that's a bummer. So, I don't know. Maybe that's worth exploring of like figuring out exactly why it doesn't feel quite like Far Cry. But we are not going to linger too long on Far Cry 5 because we talk about Far Cry 5 seemingly every week. So we're just going to move straight on to the news it now.
The news show. It's the news show. We are now a news show, so bring
All right. So, news it now. The horror thriller movie Duology. At this point, it's a duology. I think that they're making a third one, so it'll be a trilogy. A Quiet Place is getting a video game adaptation or a video game. I'm not sure if it's going to be an adaptation or if it's going to be just like a tie-in game. That's yet to be seen. The game's being co-developed by Illogica, Epitome Games, and Saber Interactive. Now, of those three, I know one name, and that's concerning to me. Do you guys know who Illogica or Epitome Games are?
Nope.
Exactly.
Yeah, Saber was the only one that I recognized.
Yeah.
So,
but Saber
I don't know
is
what
great.
Saber's done though.
Saber did Halo Master Chief Collection. Saber did Witcher 3 on Switch. So Saber is like good at what they do, which gives me some comfort. But then the fact that I have never heard of these other developers, that's a little bit concerning. And the website for the game reads, quote, experience an untold story of survival in the Quiet Place universe. So like, what do you guys think this is going to be? Because it sounds to me like it's not going to be an adaptation of the movies, either of the movies. It sounds to me like it's just going to be like, oh, this is an interesting universe. Let's tell another story in it.
for someone who hasn't seen the movies, what is A Quiet Place even about?
Oh boy.
Oh, it's about they're aliens, right, Nathan? Okay, it's about these aliens that like crash land on Earth, and they can't see anything. They don't have eyes, but they can hear everything. And so basically the only way to survive is to just be like dead silent all the time. And so like it's about this family. Both movies are about this family that is like adapted to living in this post-apocalyptic world in which they can't make any noise, otherwise they will die. Nathan, do you feel like it? What's that?
I was gonna say it's really really good movie. Both the first and the second one.
But the first
Second
one,
one
mostly the first one.
Is really really great.
Yeah,
not a huge horror / thriller fan, so
oh man,
haven't exactly dipped into these ones yet.
I would say it's worth it, just because they are even not even like, you know, lowering the standards for like, oh, it's good for a horror movie. They're just really good. Like they're just really good movies. The first one's much better, I think. The second one's like, it's good. I would say very similar to The Conjuring and The Conjuring 2. Just like Conjuring was like all-time best horror, but then, and like A Quiet Place I think is up there. But then Conjuring 2 was like, this is really good. And Quiet Place 2, I was like, yeah, this is good.
I think like, I don't know, if I were to give any criticism of the second one, it's like essentially the same plot as the first one, just with different characters.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, it's really good. I think it's interesting to think about like a game in the universe because it's like I mean, it's essentially what they have done with Walking Dead, right? Just like, all right, here's the show, here's the the universe, and here's a bunch of different games within the universe, right? So to see that in like a Quiet Place could be really interesting. I think that could be pretty awesome, but I don't know. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see how it turns out.
Yeah, and so I think the thing that I'm most afraid of for this is that they go down a similar route to, say, like Friday the 13th, where it's like an asymmetrical multiplayer or like multiplayer at all. I just don't want this to be multiplayer.
See,
Yeah.
like, honestly, just hearing what little about the movies I know, like,
Yeah.
right away, it just feels like, okay, go with a stealth game that has survival elements of crafting to allow you to get around places, having to do a bunch of puzzles and stuff to do things without, being loud and getting caught by these aliens that can hear everything.
Yeah, and
Could easily be single player or maybe a co-op based system for that.
that would be
Mhm.
cool.
And then you're
Yeah,
golden.
That'd be great.
Yeah, no, that would be awesome. And like really restrained resources would be would be a really cool, or like limited resources would be a really cool mechanic for that game. And Tim, I hadn't thought about co-op. So I guess I shouldn't say, "Oh, I don't want this game to be multiplayer," because now thinking about it, like, and Nathan, you since you like both the movie and this game, think about like It Takes Two, but a Quiet Place edition. Like, fuck, I'm on board for that. That sounds awesome.
That would be sick.
Yeah.
I mean, they do actually have a oh man, let me see if I can find it real quick. They do have a game on Steam that's very similar to the asymmetric idea that you were talking about,
Mm-hmm.
where the monster can't really see anything very well, but it can hear things very well, and you have to, yeah, I think it's called In Silence.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, multiplayer horror game. One player plays the monster, which has like really good hearing abilities, but can't see like anything, and then people gotta escape.
That'd be cool.
So,
I
yeah,
feel like
I mean,
I've seen gameplay of that.
yeah, and I mean, like it looks cool. I haven't played it at all. We were talking about playing it not too long ago. Oh, it's on sale for $8.99 right now. But yeah, I think that's a neat idea for a game, but I don't want it to be Quiet Place because like it's such a cool world that it's like if they don't take advantage of that, I'm gonna be pretty disappointed.
Yeah, and so I mean that kind of leads me into another question that I had for you guys on this. Do you think that this will tie into, because obviously it's going to like take place in the universe, but do you think that like we'll encounter characters from the movies, or like they'll be referenced?
I hope not, personally.
I mean, I don't know characters from the movies to begin with, so I don't know who's alive, who's dead, or whatnot. So I'm gonna say no. It's gonna be its own little thing. Bunch of new characters, bunch of new stuff.
Yeah, I think that'd be the way to do it. Is like just take the world, put new characters, new story in there. Don't like I don't know. I personally hate the vibe when like there's a big okay for example like Lord of the Rings Online or something where you make your own character and then you run into the heroes from the movies. Like I hate
Yeah.
that. Like I just don't like that.
It feels cheap.
So it does, and it's like cool. Like this awesome character is now just an NPC with dialogue. Like so I don't know. I don't want it. I really just hope that it's its own story, and if they know what they're doing, then they'll do that. But we don't really know.
Yeah, we don't know if they know what they're doing, because the only studio that's involved we know is like they're really good at polishing other people's games, but we don't even know how they do making their own games. So this is I don't know. I would say not even cautiously optimistic, just not optimistic about this at all.
Yeah, I'm looking up
You're looking up
Logica.
what? Yeah, I looked them
Logica,
both up.
I have no idea what that.
I looked them both up, and I couldn't find like any information on either of them. So it's a shame. But moving on though, from A Quiet Place to another major, well, I think Warner property, Hogwarts has been entirely recreated in Media Molecule's Dreams. The creation seems to be a nearly full-scale recreation of the movie, of the sets from the movies. It was, who was it that I meant to write the guy's name down? Because it was created by Jedi Master 369 in Dreams, and I sent you guys this video. Did you guys get a chance to watch it?
I haven't had a chance to watch it now.
This shit
Nor
is
have
like,
pull it up, but
yeah, this shit is like insane. I mean, Tim, you should pull it up too, because we can do just a quick reaction to it here, because Nathan is going to be fucking pissed that Dreams is going to die on the PS4. Sorry, Nathan.
PS4.
All right, I'm ready. Whenever you guys are.
I'm watching right now.
All right, I'm starting.
That's pretty cool. Like they got the bridge over the lake and everything.
Yep. Leading up to the castle.
Interesting. You got the light rays, man. You're doing it all right.
This is like peak Dreams.
Yeah, basically.
Whoever did this really knows what they're doing in this game.
Yeah, definitely. What I don't understand is like Dreams. Oh, okay. I was gonna say Dreams is like one of the hardest things about it in when you make anything graphical. Oh man, they got the candles floating up. That's really cool.
Yeah, the
Um,
dining hall looks
is-
amazing.
yeah, is how do you balance like the thermo? You know, like you're basically like the resources
Yeah.
are really tough to manage. So it's cool to see someone do something so detailed. Like you have to learn tactics to be able to manage your resources and everything, and to not slow it down. You know, use specific tools over others, or don't depend on one thing too much. Like, so it's interesting to look at it and be like, dang, like they've made something so detailed and so huge.
Yeah.
Wow, this is really impressive. And the staircases move nice. That's
And-
really cool.
And like it starts to, and this is so nitpicky, and like I could never make anything like this myself, so I'm not trying to be critical, but like it starts to show the cracks a little bit based on kind of what you're talking about resource management with teleportation, of like moving, just like going through a door and moving into, just teleporting to a totally another space.
Right, you have to do that in order to.
Yeah, it's resource management.
Yep. Even still,
You can have as
super
many.
impressive as it is.
Wow, that is very pretty. You can have as many like
rooms.
instances, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Dreams. I don't know if anyone's hit a limit yet. But yeah, each instance is limited by your resources. I know on PlayStation 5 it's a lot better. But it's not optimized for PlayStation 5 yet because they don't have a version yet. But they
Mhm.
will. It's not going to die on PS4. But
do you really think that?
yes, I know that.
How do you know that?
Because like there's people I don't know, I've been talking to the community and stuff, and like one of the other people that I go on podcasts with and stuff, he said that they're working on it. So
I mean,
I
I
think-
hope.
yeah.
I hope that
Oh
you're.
my god, the map for this. Holy shit.
I know, right?
The what?
Like the overworld map of like how many
Oh, I
rooms.
haven't seen that. It's cut off. Oh yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. Those are all the instances.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Just tying them together would be such a pain.
Well, yeah,
Oh,
and there's
yeah.
like secret passageways, so like certain doors lead to like totally different areas. So it can't
Oh
be
man,
super sequential.
he's even
But-
got Big Giant Boy's hut. Can't remember his name.
Hagrid.
Hagrid's hut.
Big giant boy.
Wow, that's really impressive.
Yeah, that's very well done. Props to Jedi Master 369 for this, because
Yeah.
that's yep.
I mean, it's just
Very, very impressive.
crazy. So Nathan feels pretty certain that Dreams isn't dying on PS4. Tim, I know that you and I obviously haven't played Dreams nearly as much as Nathan has.
I played quite a bit of it. I've
you
streamed
did?
quite a bit of it. Oh yeah.
What do you think? Do you think that it's just gonna die on the PS4? Or do you think it's gonna move up to the PS5?
If we don't see it within the next year, it's dying on the PS4. That is how I feel about it.
I tend to agree, and I wish that they would just bite the bullet, invest hard, and move it up to the PS5 right now. So that, because if they do, this community can continue to thrive and grow and like strengthen over the next 5 to 7 years of the PS5, right? But as it is now, it's like they got to get it on fast.
Like how I feel about it is like I don't think it's ever going to be Minecraft, but it's very Minecraft like, and I think it's only going to get better. And like this is like the alpha of Minecraft of what we're looking at. Because the thing is now, like, it's getting to the point where people are just really, really good at stuff like this,
Making
and
Hogwarts.
yeah, exactly. And so like you're gonna see that like more and more people making other things in it, and like making just all kinds of really great iconic stuff. That's what I think is missing currently, is like the iconic aspect of it. And having something that they can really push. But I don't think that Media Molecule's in trouble. I don't think that Dreams is in trouble. From what I've heard, they've just been hiring more and more people. So it's getting funded. It's just what's going on, like what's the plan, that I don't know.
Okay. I didn't know that they were hiring. That's news to me.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they've been hiring more and more people. Like and what's fucking cool is they're hiring people directly from the community too.
Yeah.
Like they're hiring people they hired a guy to do like the community management for like sorting out playlists and stuff, because that's what he liked doing in the game. And so he just made a bunch of collections about different things. And then they were like, "Hey, do you want to just manage the front page?" So that's his job now. He gets paid for that.
That's so fucking cool.
Yeah, and there's another dude too that recently I saw in the community got hired to help out with like I think it was the logic and the programming, to like be a consultant on that. So like they're taking people that are using the tools and saying, "Hey, how can we make this better?" and bringing them on and hiring them. Like, so I don't know. It's not going to die on PlayStation 4. That's where I'm at.
Okay. I mean,
And it's only going to get better when Sony releases the new VR tools too. Or the new VR, I mean.
Yeah.
But
Which, okay.
who knows when that is.
Yeah, I mean, let's just, before we move on, since Dreams is pretty dependent on PSVR, or like potentially the potential of Dreams. When do you guys think we're going to see PSVR 2? Let's just throw out quick predictions.
E3
Hot take.
2022.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I could see it. E3. I could see news about it at E3. Maybe like holiday season 2020.
I'm okay.
2 or 3.
I'm gonna just say I think it's a hot enough take to just say that Sony's gonna be at E3 2022. I don't think we'll see PSVR 2 until 2023.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like I don't think we're even gonna see it until 2023. I bet we won't play it until late 2023.
Very
I mean,
possible, but-
they've made announcements and like they've shown like the designs and stuff.
They've
It's
shown
just-
the controller.
Yeah.
And I think that the reason that they did that was just because it was one of those things of like, we have to be sending this to developers. And so like, let's just show it now, because otherwise there's going to be pictures of it on Twitter tomorrow, you know?
Yep.
And like, we can either control the narrative or we can, you know, be drug along by the narrative.
And
Yeah.
thank God it's an actual controller this time and not the PlayStation Move controllers.
Yeah, for real.
I was gonna say the same thing. Like the
No.
weakest thing, the two weakest things about PSVR is one tracking source, and it's the camera.
Mhm.
That shit sucks. Sorry, it does, Sony. And then like the moves are just atrocious.
The move ons
So
are terrible.
all of them put together is like, it's not good. I mean, it works. You know, it's the experience, and you can get like it's still decent. But I think the Oculus now is Oculus Go or whatever is probably a much better
Yeah,
a much better buy instead of the PlayStation VR.
well,
Yeah, for a similar price too.
and I mean, not to mention, Meta has has made it very clear that they're like super interested in VR as the future,
Yeah.
versus Sony is like, yeah, we're gonna do a follow up to that little pet project that we had going for the last few years. Like, to Sony, it's a pet project, and to Meta, it's like this is the future of our company.
Right. And I'm so damn sad about it. Like,
Yeah,
I wish anyone but Facebook, like,
I mean, even
well, and
fucking-
Google. I wouldn't have wanted Google, but
even Google, I would be better with than fucking Facebook.
well, true. But I still wouldn't want. If it was Google, I'd be saying anyone but Google. But I don't know. It's just those are the two companies that are in the best position to be able to make a metaverse, right?
Yeah,
Unfortunately. But
yeah. I mean, I won't take part in the metaverse if Meta actually makes it happen. So, just that's not for me.
it's sad. It's a
Ev-
sad admittance. But
Even if they make it like legit full on Ready Player One, I still won't do it.
that's
I might.
Well-
I would try it. I would try it. But the second that we have like neural lace added on top, like Facebook, get the fuck out of my brain. Like no.
Mm.
Like the second that goes through, like no thank you.
I don't even want them tracking my eyes. I don't want anything. I don't want them knowing my fucking name. I hate Facebook so much.
I mean, they can track my eyes if they want. All I'm going to be looking at is boobs and butts. So
Well,
they're
yeah,
not
Tim,
going to get much data there.
Tim, you have an Oculus headset, right?
I do.
Which one?
It's the Rift S.
Nice. And it's
Yep.
like pretty good, right?
Yeah, for $300, works great. Hooks up to my computer. Makes me feel like I'm falling if I'm actually like falling in midair,
Yeah.
which makes me sick. So you know what? I'm calling it good.
That's a really good litmus test for VR. Is like, do you feel like you're falling?
Yep.
Okay.
Even though I can firmly feel my feet planted on the ground, I feel like I'm falling.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
Interesting.
Okay, so Blizzard Entertainment. We're going to move on from Hogwarts and VR. Blizzard Entertainment has announced that both Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4 have been delayed into 2023. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I wasn't expecting either of these games in 2022. So,
I mean, Diablo 4 I was, but not
Really?
Overwatch 2. Yeah.
oh,
We've known about Diablo 4 for a while now.
we found out about them at
Long
the same BlizzCon.
Did we? I
Yeah.
don't remember Overwatch 2 being there, but that's probably because they haven't really said much about that specific game since. I know we've heard a lot more about Diablo since then.
Well,
so
just looking at how long Diablo 3 was delayed, I wasn't expecting, like, they showed us Diablo 4 and I was like, oh, that'll be cool for people who play Diablo in like 2025.
Honestly, Diablo 4 I did expect coming in 2022. Overwatch, no, but seeing all the shit that they've had to deal with this year, rightfully so.
Yeah.
It's understandable that they would want to push back their stuff and delay everything.
Yeah, I mean they deserve what they've got going on, because it, like, there has been investigation, like, there, and I think that that's the proper way to handle it, not wanting to like dive too deep into this, but I think the proper way to handle it is like, you can't be pulling the trigger and you know, before an investigation. You can't do that on allegation alone, but there has been an investigation. And like, it was after investigation that at that point the state of California was like, okay, yeah, we're going to sue them. And so to me, it's just, go ahead, Nathan.
All right. So let's just give a quick overview, because I actually don't know what you're talking about. What all has Blizzard been dealing with? I know that there was some sort of issue with like McCree and stuff, but I don't know if it's that or something else.
Okay.
Because you said that the state of California wants to sue them. So
Well,
what
so the
the
state
heck
of
is going on?
California is in the process of suing them for like unsafe working conditions and whatnot. And the reason being is because there were like people who victims who went about everything in the correct way, instead of like tweeting on, you know, instead of going out and tweeting and being like, oh yeah, so and so assaulted me. We have law enforcement. Go to law enforcement. And so they did, and then there was a massive investigation for like months secretly, and then they a few months ago, I want to say like 2 or 3 months ago at this point, they the state of California was like, okay, we have a lot of evidence and we're going to sue Activision Blizzard for unsafe working conditions. And the unsafe working conditions were almost entirely sexual. And so like, there are practices at Activision Blizzard that are like, when new women are hired, they force them to crawl through the office and like crawl into everyone's cubicles, of like crawl into the cubicles of all the men and whatnot. And
The fuck?
yeah. And so like,
What?
it really, really
Mhm.
disgusting, demeaning shit, like really fucking horrendous. Um,
What the fuck?
and I mean, it's way more than that, but that's the one that like stuck out in my brain as like, this is just super dehumanizing.
Well, that's insane. What the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
I don't mean to be laughing. It's just like
No, yeah.
I that was so unexpected.
It's like,
like
unbelievable. It's like something you like literally cannot believe.
yeah, like I can't. I picture it and it looks stupid. Like it's just like, why would someone want or even be able to enforce that, or like what?
Yeah.
I
It's
don't.
so ridiculous that people who write pornos wouldn't even go in this direction.
Exactly. Yeah. And so like, I don't fault you for laughing, because it's like, it's such a it's just so absurd that it's like,
Disbelief. What the fuck?
exactly, how could this possibly be real? It is. And then there's like a bunch of other stuff that has happened that I don't know the specific details on, but yeah, I mean, they like Activision Blizzard, they're fucking nasty, and like, they deserve what they're going through right now. That being said, I think Call of Duty this year is kind of being thrown to the lambs. Like, they're thrown to the wolves. They're just like trying to kind of fly under the radar, and as a result, Call of Duty is gonna die, is gonna suffer. Which it sucks, not because like, oh, I love Call of Duty, and not because it's like, oh, you know, we should still be able to play their games or whatever. But it sucks because that's like the people at Ravensoft, like they did a lot of work on Vanguard, and like, you know, suddenly your work isn't being seen by the audience that it was meant for because some
Other people's
jackasses
shit, yeah.
at your parent company. Like, that sucks for those people, and I feel for those people.
Mhm.
But you know, these victims need to be addressed and they need to be taken care of, and it's a whole fucking thing. But I also, Tim, I think that, you know, you were speculating that like maybe these delays are coming as a result of that. I think that maybe these delays are coming as like just to try and distance themselves from this more.
Probably, yeah. I could see it. I could see it being both, honestly.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I mean, Blizzard classically has been kind of like Rockstar, in which they don't release games very often, like, and they take a long time to make it and perfect it and stuff. So it's like, hopefully, like, if anything, they get rid of this shit, they figure it out, you know, and they pay their dues, and then they can get back to working on it, and it's not, you know, they
Well,
can do what Blizzard has done and been loved for, honestly,
yeah.
with the great games that they make. But that's all. Whew,
I
that's
just
fucking rough.
I want to correct one thing that you said, and like, I think that you'll agree with me. I don't want these people paying their dues. I want these people gone. Like Bobby Kotick, I want him gone. And like these
Right,
people
yeah.
that were doing this, I want them gone. There needs to be new leadership in this, like in both of these companies. And well, I guess
Right.
it's one company, but like there needs to be new leadership. And I hope that like they can boot these people while managing to salvage the people who are innocent and the victims' crime, like the victims' jobs. I hope they manage to salvage anyone who wasn't involved. I hope they manage to salvage their job and enough reputation to continue without those people involved.
Pay their dues.
Yeah.
I think that was a bad way to say it, and I agree. I think more what I meant was like, I hope that they do what needs to be done, but
And, no,
and
and
go
I
through the
figured,
consequences.
I figured
you
that
know.
that's what you meant. I just wanted to make it like crystal clear. There aren't dues to be paid here, and like just crystal clear for like anyone listening. Not for you, but like we all agree,
Yeah.
all three of us. There aren't dues to be paid here. These people need to be gone. Easy as that.
Yeah.
But what if I want to parade myself through the halls and introduce myself in all
Tim,
the cubicles?
if you want to go crawl through the hall, crawl through the like cubicles, maybe that'll qualify.
It hurts to say that.
To work.
It hurts to say that.
Yeah, it's a horrible, horrible thing that's happening. So,
yeah.
But no, I do think that this delay is probably just to distance themselves. You know, kind of distance themselves, recover, let the news cycle, let like another, you know, 52 news cycles go by, and then release these games and hopefully hopefully this issue is less in the forefront of people's minds.
I mean, yes, and also possibly, you know, that actually doesn't make a lot of sense considering by the time the end of next year rolls around, they probably will have been sued. The court case probably will have been wrapped up at that point.
Maybe.
Which means that they'll need even additional time to wait for that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting to see these games in 2022. At this point, I would be surprised to see these games in 2023. I think the absolute soonest we see these games, either of them, is like 2024. And Diablo 2026.
I mean, let's be fair. World of Warcraft is going to continue to paying their way for the next couple years anyways.
Yeah.
So. And then like they've been losing players. Like my brother has been playing, this is anecdotal, but my brother's been playing WoW for a long time, super addicted, and then only recently he's like, I'm going to go to New World and try that out and do some other stuff. And they've lost like 13% of their player base. Well, so I don't know, man.
They lost.
We'll see how it does, but
they lost
probably doesn't
those
even
players
make a dent
because of what happened here.
Right.
And No, but I mean, like, even losing like 13% of their player base, that WoW will continue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's going to be a new expansion coming out this next year,
Yeah.
if I'm correct.
Fair.
Yeah, I think so. So yeah, like they're going to bring more people in, more people will come back. Like people are going to forget about this, and it's just going to go on anyways. So I could see World of Warcraft paying their way through this trying time for them. Can't even believe I'm calling it that. Shouldn't be calling it that. No, that's yeah. This whole situation's fucked.
I agree with you, Tim. All right. Well, guys, that's the news this week. It's time for the topic of the show. All right. Topic of the show. So, ever since okay, first of all, let's nail down, when did this scalping start? Because I think it was actually before the PS5 and the series consoles were released. I think it was actually with NVIDIA 3000 and like pre-orders. This all started around like 15 months ago, like September-ish of 2020.
I have no idea.
These consoles are still not on shelves.
Yep.
And so I wanted to open the floor. I wanted to just have, kind of a loosey-goosey, I don't have any structure for this. What do you guys think can be done to fix this problem?
Trackers and a shotgun. Always a good first move. But no, on a more serious note, like it comes down to those shipping it. They need to have higher restrictions on things, because you can make multiple accounts, buy multiple devices, and ship them to one place. Put in place like a restriction on addresses. Like you can only have one or two of these shipped to a specific address. That makes it 1,000 times harder. Because unless you're going to get your neighbors involved, or you're going to go take out a PO box in multiple different towns around, you're not going to be able to do this as effectively.
Yeah. I'm just wondering, like, there's not really any motivation for Sony to want to do that, though. Like,
well, no, they're making money either way.
Yeah.
They don't give a fuck.
And so then, I mean, if we go, and I want to throw in, maybe it's too soon to throw this variable in, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So if you're looking at a standard supply and demand curve, right? You have supply and you have demand, and like where they intersect is called an equilibrium. And to set an accurate, a fair retail price, basically any manufacturer or any company looks at, okay, what is the equilibrium? And then let's go a little bit up from there. And that's where we're going to set our price. But then the market, because they're going to lose some sales, like they won't sell as many as they would at the equilibrium price. But the market, like a huge portion of the market, is willing to tolerate a slightly higher price. So my question for you guys is, the market has proven, with GPUs in particular, the market has proven that it's willing to sustain to tolerate a significantly higher price than what was originally suggested. So, and I guess I shouldn't say GPUs in particular, like PS5s. As we're moving into the holiday season, sales prices on PS5s, like aftermarket prices on PS5s and Xbox Series X's, are going way, way up again because demand is going up.
It's Christmas time. People want to get them for their kids or as a present for whoever.
Exactly. And so we're seeing prices going back up, but we're seeing these things sell for like almost double the MSRP. And so what we've seen happen to GPUs is, if they're selling for like double MSRP, the manufacturers are just raising the prices. The manufacturers are saying, okay, well, if scalpers can sell it for that price, we can sell it for that price. And so they're kind of, I mean, they're cutting out a lot of scalping. And so we're not seeing nearly as many GPUs being scalped as we were like 6 months ago or even 3 months ago. But it's like, what does it matter if a scalper is gouging you? Like, what's the practical difference if a scalper is gouging you or if a manufacturer is gouging you? And so how do we solve that problem? Because manufacturers, like, how do we solve the problem of manufacturers changing the price?
Oh, you're actually asking.
Yeah. No, I'm
Okay.
I'm asking you guys.
I mean, fuck, like,
because it's something that wasn't anticipated.
No, but like, let's say product X goes on the market for 500 MSRP.
Mm-hmm.
It's where it starts. Find a way to make it so resale of product X can't be sold for more than the 500 MSRP, like across the board, no matter where you are. Put in some kind of system to detect if it is, and just shut it down immediately.
But like, how do you do that? Like,
yeah, that'd be a lot of resources.
A lot of resources, a lot of programming, a lot of bullshit.
Do you think that, like, okay, so let's say a PS5, right? So PS5s, last I checked, are selling for like between $750 and $1,000 right now on eBay. So, and like, who's culpable? Who's responsible? So, is Sony responsible to make sure that, okay, we know that so-and-so bought this, like, we know that Tim bought this PS5 at Best Buy, like, based on the serial number. We know that, and, based on the credit card, we know that Tim Miller bought this PS5 at Best Buy. And then if it is then activated by someone else, does Sony then brick the console?
That'd be kind of epic, but also shitty because it's like, what about like gifting on Christmas?
Well, yeah, you gift on Christmas, or like you authentically want to sell your PS5.
See, by doing that, you're kind of just hurting the buyer. You're not hurting the seller in this scenario.
And so, like, how do you?
I think honestly, like, in general, the scalping could be solved by like you purchase it through like your Sony account, which is hooked up to your phone number. It has your address, and then you limit like just one per account. And like, it's just, you have to have all this other information filled out so that it's, and it's not just random shit. You can't just like it's got to have like human, like, authentication and stuff with the phone number and all this other stuff. I mean, even 2FA. Like the thing too, the thing is like, you can't even use like a Google number on a lot of things, like Google phone or whatever it's called. You can't even use that phone number or those phone numbers to make extra accounts on things, because it's already set up. Like, for a lot of things, they know, like, okay, this isn't your phone number. This is like a Google number. This isn't, you can't use this. A lot of sites, because I know, because I've tried it with different things. It's like, I don't want to put my real phone number in here. I'm just going to use my spam phone number. No. But like, for other things, like stupid things that require a phone number, that I'm like, why does this require a phone number? I think that would be,
Yep. All those porn sites. Yep.
Yep.
Brazzers. Okay, I got it.
All right, whatever. So, like, that kind of stuff, it would probably be really helpful. The issue then is like, okay, well, what if your phone number changes, or someone else, like, you get a new phone number and someone else had like their Sony account attached to the phone number that they just gave up. But I mean, if you can authenticate it and only one account has it at the same time, it's like, that's going to help most people in the situations. And you just buy it from so from Sony.
That Sony stops seeding to retailers.
Either that, or like, you have to like authenticate it with like the purchase with your Sony account through retailers somehow. Especially particularly online. If it's like in person, I feel like I don't know
Oh,
how.
okay. You're giving me an idea here. So, what if there was some sort of like purchase verification system through God, I'm trying to think. Okay, what if there was like some sort of purchase verification system through like, you go to Best Buy and at checkout, you have to go through like, authenticating your Sony account. Like, hey, this is my email, this is my phone number, this is my account, and like log into your PSN. And then it associates at Best Buy, it associates that serial number with your PSN. And then suddenly it's like you can say, then suddenly if it's like not activated, or let's say you can't log in to any other PSN account besides your own on that PS5 until like you can't log into any other PSN account until you've logged in with your own. And then once that's happened, then it's like there's like a period of time. So Ferrari has a program where when you buy a Ferrari, you sign a contract that states, I will not sell this car for X amount of months. And when you buy a PS5, you do like an authentication thing and you sign like a terms of service thing that says, I will not sell this PS5 for X amount of months. And then, that's what you do. And
Wild.
And like, then your PlayStation ID is associated with that PS5 and like tied to it. Like they are tied at the hip for, 6 months.
Yeah. The wild thing too, like how would you deal with someone buying like a PS5 for their kid who's never had a Sony system too? Like
That's a tough thing. Like, I mean,
because then it's gatekeeping, and then they're just gonna get an Xbox. Like,
yeah,
yeah,
I don't know.
That's the rough one too.
And
I think and then like if you have to just make an account previously beforehand, it means people can just keep making accounts, like because the time constraint isn't there anymore, right? Like because they can just spend all like one day just making a shit ton of Sony accounts, finding a way to do it, and then start scalping whenever they purchase
and sell said account with it.
Yeah, and just keep connecting it to false accounts that they've had the time to
new
make
accounts and be like, hey, it's
Yep.
Just make sure to leave this account on this PS5 for 6 months.
I don't know. I'm starting to like that killing everybody option.
Yeah. Well, yes. I think I'm kind of thinking that, and I knew that this was kind of where this conversation was going to take us, is like, it can't be solved. But scalpers are selling it for more. And manufacturers are selling it for more. For like GPUs. Who is like morally most entitled to that extra money? Is it the manufacturer who said, oh, this should cost $500 and it's selling for $800? Does the manufacturer deserve that extra $300? Or does the retailer deserve that extra $300? Or does the scalper deserve that extra $300?
That's a good question. I think no one deserves that.
Well, no one.
As a consumer, yeah, that's easy to say, but like
the consumer deserves the extra $300 is what it is. But
yeah,
that's not what's happening,
right?
But like, I guess at the end of the day, like, you have to give it to the scalpers for actually, going out there doing this and actually making money off of it.
See, I kind of. So I disagree. Because I think rewarding the scalpers is incentivizing them to keep doing it. And
They're going to keep doing it regardless.
Yeah,
But-
it's just kind of, I don't know. I think in one way it's just kind of our new reality, like
yeah.
Yep.
just like getting COVID tests and vaccines. Like,
Well, and so you think that this is going to happen indefinitely? This is just how it
think-
is now.
yeah, I think it's probably just the way that it's going to be for
For
new
a
consoles
while,
and stuff,
anyways.
yeah.
But I don't think it'll be.
Until they figure out a system, but
I don't think it's the system that's needed. I think we just need to eliminate the shortage of chips and everything that we need to build said thing, so we can build them on a larger scale, because they just haven't been able to do so because of all these shortages in the past year.
Well,
And
yeah.
unfortunately,
yeah,
they just can't pump out enough for the actual market. When you can get enough to actually get them in on shelves, like, yeah, there's some are going to be scalped, but
it's gonna. I mean, scalpers are gonna like when a scalper.
if there's an infinite supply, it wouldn't be
right.
yeah,
wouldn't be lucrative to scalp.
Well, and I mean, it's gonna get close enough that like it's gonna get easy enough to get a PS5 that like even if scalpers are scooping up like getting the opportunity to scoop up a PS5, if it's easy enough to be like, oh shit, that scalper beat me to it, I'll try and get one tomorrow. And like realistically, I will get one, within the next few days. Once it gets to that level, there's still going to be people that are going to be willing to pay the scalper, but the number of people that are willing to pay the scalper is going to be so much lower that the scalper is going to make like what, $50 on that console.
yeah.
And at that point, then they're just going to stop. It's not worth it to the scalper.
They'll move on to a new product at that point.
Yeah. And I mean, it's ultimately, Tim, I do agree with you. Like, really, the answer is we just need to get the supply chain going again. Like,
Get it
COVID.
working. Like, we need to get it working at a better place than it was before COVID started, because gaming has grown, like specifically gaming, if we're talking about PlayStation, Xbox, all that, has grown tremendously in the past like 3 or 4 years. You can't put out the same like amount of launch consoles that you did when, say, the
When
GameCube,
the PS4.
PS2 came out. All that stuff
Right.
came out. Like, you can't, even when the PS4, Xbox One, even when all
Well,
that stuff came out, you can't put
I
out as much.
remember when the
You have to put
PS4
out
and the
way more.
Xbox One came out, and it was like, I remember thinking to myself, like, oh, the days of like it being impossible to get one are over. Because like, I remember when the GameCube and the Xbox came out. They came out, I think they came out on the same day. And I was, it was like gaming was like popular, but it was still kind of a niche hobby. And so they didn't produce like a metric fuck ton of them like they do now.
Yeah, but I could still go into stores and get one.
Back
I
then-
went.
So like, well, here's the thing. Back then, on like day one, you couldn't, and I got just stupid lucky because the place that I pre-ordered my GameCube at didn't get their shipment, and there was a Walmart or a Kmart across the parking lot, and we went to that Kmart, and we were like, "Hey, do you have any GameCubes left?" And she was like, "No, we sold all of our GameCubes and Xboxes." Within 5 minutes of opening. And then another guy that worked there was like, no, I'm pretty sure that I saw one fell behind a box back there, and I was just busy this morning. And so, and she like looks behind and she's like, oh yeah, we have one left. And they had one left, and they sold it to me, and it was amazing. It was this incredible
Nice.
moment. But like, that was, and then when the 360 launched, right? Tim, when did you get your 360?
I didn't get my 360 right away. I think it had been out for like a year when I got mine. I didn't get mine until Halo 3 launched.
I got mine. Oh wow! So you got yours like almost 2 years in.
Yeah. It was a while after.
I got mine a month in, and it was at the point where it was like my dad was going to Target and Walmart every single morning, being there when they opened every morning for like a month, and we finally got one. And then when the PS4 came out, PS4 and Xbox One, I just pre-orders went live on the PS4, and I was driving down I-25, and I just pulled out my phone and I pre-ordered it on Amazon, and it was that easy. It just I didn't have to rush. I didn't have to click, 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 And I thought, oh, I guess those days are over. And then this guy that I was in college with decided, oh yeah, I want a PS4, and he just went that day that they came out, and he was like, yeah, waited. He was 30 minutes early before the store opened, and he got one. And so I thought, oh, those days are over. Gaming is big enough that people want it. That they're making enough of them. But Tim, I do agree with you that we're at a point where it's gotten so big, and the supply for this hardware hasn't grown with the hobby itself.
Which I think probably at the end of the day is the core of the issue. Without having it readily available for everyone, it's just scalpers are going to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
And until that one specific thing is fixed, it's gonna be hell until then.
Yeah. No, and it's a shame that this conversation is ending with just yeah, we can't fix it.
Actually, I have an
I'm telling you, shotgun, it'll work.
Tim, we're going to come back to your shotgun idea. Nathan, tell me what you got.
So, I think we should create an association in which you can be registered to that. You have to register all your consoles to,
guns,
and it can, and it'll
like guns.
Treat them like guns, and you get, you have a number, and all your consoles get registered to this gaming profile that's unified, and then maybe it'll expand to groceries and cars, and then maybe this association needs to also register politicians and everything, and then eventually we'll just have the new
world order,
government,
brother.
Yeah.
Okay, I was with you for
and
a
it'll
second.
Start with scalping.
I was with you for a second, and here I actually am going to flesh out your idea. The ESRB should do this.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
You should have an account with the ESRB, and when you check out at whatever retailer you're buying from, you register the console with your ESRB. And you only get one until until supply goes up, you only get one. And so,
man,
if you're buying it for your kid, that sucks. You don't get one. If you're buying it for your, and you have to verify your ESRB account with a photo ID, government issued ID. And you're buying, you get one Xbox, you get one PlayStation, you get one GPU. You don't get to buy them for your significant other wants one. Well, your significant other better set up their own fucking ESRB account.
Can you imagine, just I think it's funny hearing you say that in particular, just because you're the one that has multiple Xboxes for different rooms in your house.
Shh, Nathan, don't tell the people that. They're gonna be mad.
But you don't have multiple PlayStation 5s for every room in your house, so
no, I don't.
They can't be that mad. You're following the rules halfway. But anyway,
I have had an opportunity to get a PS5, and it took multiple people to talk me out of it.
He has a problem, ladies and gentlemen.
He does.
I was just I want another one from my living room, and it took Jillian, Ethan, and Dom to all talk me out of it. They all had to say, "Don't be a dick."
I'm glad you listened.
And that was Andrew's PS5.
There you go.
He's on the thing constantly now.
Is he really?
Oh yeah, I get notifications at least 3 times a day that he's turned it on and has come online.
Oh wow,
that's so weird. I don't know why you guys have that set up. It's like our friend Gabe. Every time I turn on my Xbox, I get an email, like a message from him. He messages me and says like,
On
Abner has
Xbox.
entered the game on Xbox.
Yes.
And he's been consistently doing it since August.
Yeah.
Like
It's been
that,
months.
like, and then I was talking to Ethan the other day, our other friend, and he said that he's been doing it to him too.
Yeah,
And I was like,
he does
that
it
is
to me
some
too.
He's not done it to
dedication.
me yet.
That's crazy. We should coordinate a day in which we all just turn on our Xboxes on and off all day, just to get him to like be super busy.
It's a good thing that he doesn't listen to this podcast, so he won't even see it coming.
Yep.
But
Okay. I think the ESRB thing is actually the best idea. And like how does the ESRB get funding? They, publishers pay for it. And so
But the problem with that though is that they could just register the console after purchasing it from a scalper. You know?
No. You register at the time of checkout. And so if you're checking out on bestbuy.com, it prompts you to register with the ESRB. And so how does the ESRB get funding to operate? Publishers have to pay a fee. That you have to pay a fee to get your game rated. And so if you want to sell PS5s, you have to pay the ESRB. Like retailers would have to pay the ESRB.
Interesting. No one hates the ESRB either. They'd be a great third party.
I mean, they kind of do need a rework. Let's be real here.
Yeah, honestly, a lot of people hate the ESRB.
Why? What is the argument for that?
I don't know. I don't mind the ESRB.
I mean, I haven't cared about ratings on games since I turned 17.
I haven't cared about them. Well, I thought that, because it was like wicked cool to be playing an M game before you were, allowed to.
Yeah. And like I don't know. Here we are playing like rated E for everyone games and stuff all the time anyway. So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just silly.
Wow.
But
you guys, we did it. The
do you
ESRB is the solution. And you get one of each until every ESRB, you go to your account on the ESRB website and you indicate, yes, I am interested in buying this. Yes, I am interested in buying that. I'm interested in buying a PS5. I'm interested in buying an Xbox. And then let's say there are 10 million people on the ESRB that have said, I'm interested in buying a PS5. Then each person that says I'm interested in buying a PS5 gets one. And then once they've sold 10 million of them, once all of those people have gotten one, then you can go get another.
I mean, it could just be a third party too. We'll call it the Anti-Scalper Society.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No.
S.
Well, and I agree with you. I think the ESRB is perfectly poised to be the ones to do this.
The one problem I have with what you just said, someone could register and say, yeah, I want this, and just never buy it, so no one could ever get more than one.
That would happen. But
I would be that dick.
I feel like I'm in Letterkenny right now at the moment where he's like, what did he say? I said Florida Seminole vesicles, and nobody laughed, and I thought that was funny. That's where I'm at right now. Anti-Scalper Society. Ass.
Oh, okay. I didn't catch on to that.
Damn it. I said it out loud.
Well, so did you...
just weren't paying attention.
No, I just wasn't putting the acronym together. Did you see...
I said it.
Oh, I didn't hear you say ass.
Yeah, I must not have caught that part either.
Did you see what Linus Tech Tips did for their anti-scalper thing?
No.
So they did a program where they partnered with manufacturers, and they would get an allotment of GPUs, and they would announce, hey, and they would put them on their lttstore.com, but they would keep the page hidden, so you couldn't access it. You had to know the exact web address. And then they would announce the web address in a cryptic message in one of their videos. So you had to be watching the videos right away. And then you had to type in the web address. And then you went through the gauntlet and like you went through like a little quiz. And then it would take you to the product page where you could like buy it. So basically fighting bots that way, right? And they called it
I kind of like that idea.
They called it the Verified Actual Gamer program.
Verified Actual Gamer.
What were some of the questions like?
VAG.
VAGPA.
VAGPA. So, they were just like questions about video games. Just like,
like, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
No,
like,
yeah.
But the idea, it's kind of an interesting idea of like almost Ready Player One, where it's like you have to beat a game in order to be able to buy one. Like you just have to beat like
you have to prove that you're a gamer.
fairly simple, a fairly simple game, but like something
instead
that
of some asshole to like that's just trying to pick up GPU.
they're just rubber
to make
banding
some-
their joysticks together.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be kind of neat.
So the
I've
VAG
earned this
program. I went through the gauntlet a few times just to like see if I could do it, and it was fun. I got an opportunity to buy a 3080 and like a 6700 XT or something like that. But I wasn't.
And you didn't call me?
Sorry.
Like immediately?
I mentioned
God
this.
damn.
I mentioned this in the Discord one time, and Dom was like, "Well, hey, if you get an opportunity to 3080 again, please let me know." And I was like, "Really? You have a 2080 Ti?" And he's like, "Yeah, but it's like okay."
I have an
Dom.
RX 580. I am in much more dire need.
Yeah. Sorry.
I'm mad at you right now.
Don't you have Dom's computer now? Ethan sold it to you.
Ethan didn't even sell it; he gave it to me.
What the fuck?
In the scalping days, Ethan was like, "Here, have this computer. Oh, by the way, there's a 1080 Ti in it."
Jeez. I'm so mad that I couldn't ever get that thing to work for video
Works fine for me.
Oh,
So
not for me. It would like brick itself, which is so weird. Like I would lose my display when I was video editing with that.
Oh,
But I could game for days. But video editing, it just like, oh,
It's
dude,
like,
no.
You're working too hard. I put some money into it. So I put a new power supply into it, which is the thing that it needed the most by far. And then I did a terabyte SSD.
Nice.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, guys, I think we actually did it. I like full disclosure, I was 100% not expecting us to be able to succeed in doing this, but I think the ESRB program solves the problem.
I kind of like ass personally. But
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just going to go grab my
ass.
shotgun. This is much simpler.
Tim, you need to let go of that plan. It's not going to work. But now that we've solved the world's problems, you're welcome. It's time for the weekly trivia challenge.
See, final answer.
Okay. This week's trivia challenge is: which of the following games faced a notoriously difficult development period that would eventually result in the development team being forced to scrap a huge final act of the game, including their originally intended ending, instead being forced to end on a cliffhanger? Was it A, Mass Effect 3, B, Halo 2, C, Ocarina of Time, or D, Madden 08?
B, final answer.
Can you say them again?
I'll read you the question and the answers again.
Thank you.
Which of the following games faced a notoriously difficult development period that would eventually result in the development team being forced to scrap a huge final act of the game, including their originally intended ending, instead being forced to end on a cliffhanger? Was it A, Mass Effect 3, B, Halo 2, C, Ocarina of Time, or D, Madden 08?
Madden?
Madden 08.
Madden?
Yes.
Does Madden have a story?
I don't know, Nathan, does it?
There's no way. So, okay. Oh, man. Clearly it's not Madden.
Okay.
Don't shrug and say okay. That's a horrible...
Are you upset at me for giving you a very easy to eliminate possibility?
No, I just think it's really funny, the idea of like having a like I just picture the game ending like right before like a field goal kick, and it doesn't tell you whether you got it or not. That's where it ends.
Joke.
It's just the Super Bowl, and it ends like that, and there you go.
That would be incredible. I would like Madden after that.
Okay.
I would watch those reacts on TikTok all the time just to see people so fucking pissed.
All right, Nathan, what's your answer?
Oh, well, it's not Madden. I wish it was, but it's not. I mean, Mass Effect seems like the other one that would be like, okay, like, yeah. Like that, like I could see that being one where, because everyone hated the ending, but I also didn't play that, so I couldn't say. But I feel like Mass Effect probably would have had a more tumultuous development cycle than Halo 2. But Halo 2 also ended on a pretty crazy cliffhanger as well. I just know people hated the ending of Mass Effect 3, so I don't know. But
You got to pick an answer.
what was the third one again?
Ocarina of Time.
Oh, well, I don't think it's that either. I don't know. Tim, you're saying Halo?
No. Don't use Tim. Tim's answer is locked in. Your answer.
Yeah, I'll just hedge our bets and say Mass Effect.
All right. Well, I'm going to tell you. The answer to this question could have very easily been found just in the context of the question and the answers. Mass Effect 3 was the end of a trilogy. Why would it end on a cliffhanger? Ocarina of Time. Hey, all Zelda games are standalone.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, Mass Effect was the end of a trilogy, but everyone hated the ending.
I didn't hate the ending.
All right, most people hated the ending.
Okay. And you're correct. There is no story mode in Madden, so good job, Nathan.
Damn. If only.
It was Halo 2.
Okay. Good job, Tim. Hedged our bets, and we came out on top.
Good job, Tim. All right. Well, that's all we have for you guys tonight. If you liked what you heard, don't forget to subscribe on whatever podcast platform you found us on. You can see everything we do all in one spot over at coldnorthpro.com. We'll be back next week talking about whatever happens in the next 7 days. So until then, reset.
I'm going to pitch a story campaign to
John Madden himself.
And it's going to be about a lowly college football athlete who finally gets into the big leagues, and then I don't know.
You're describing
through
his that's already in the last.
Am I really?
Yes.
Man, I should make a video game.
You already do.